Who is a lifelong learner? I think a lot of times people think about education and they go to bachelor's degree university and they have master's, MBA, and they said, I finished graduate school, but lifelong learner understands that there is a life university and you will never finish and will never graduate because you're able to improve, get better, and move forward. So today I will share 10 questions, 10 things that you need to consider to make sure that you are a lifelong learner. And this lesson I learned from John C. Maxwell. The first question is that you need to understand what is the difference between growth-oriented and goal-oriented. That means that when we think about the future, we need to ask ourselves how this journey will allow us to grow. Because a lot of times when we focus on the goal, we potentially could not grow enough to achieve it. But if you really focus on growing yourself, it's a much higher chance that you will be able to finally achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. But first, you need to decide what is a growth goal and then what kind of goal you can achieve with that growth goal. Second question is develop a personal growth plan. So that means when you think about what kind of skills you want to build, you need to be very intentional about your skills, because a lot of times people think about this some like few skills that is very important, but when looking to their schedule, they do not allocate to build those skills. I have done that, and I said that public speaking is very important for me, but for 2 years I didn't do anything about it. So when I worked on a plan, I was able to start work on it. Number 3 is possess a teachable spirit or attitude. That means every time when you meet a new person, you need to understand that that person could teach you something, or you go to read a book second time, the same book, and you are coming as a totally new book because you're able to learn every time. Because when you improve, you learn different lessons from the same person, from the same book. Number 4 is initiate meetings with a growth potential. So that means when you are growing, you of course want to meet people who are faster, bigger, better, because you're able to learn from them, improve. And when really you initiate those conversations, have lunch with them, have a conversation with them, you're able to grow better and improve faster. Number 5 is identify and concentrate on your strengths. That means, of course, you need to invest some time to really find what is your strengths and focus to grow them. A lot of times people focus on their weaknesses, but we're not supposed to focus on your weaknesses because you are weak in your weaknesses. And of course, that's why it's much more important to focus on your strengths, because that's where you're able to achieve excellence. 6 is invest in your growth resource material. So that means when you are growing, you need to understand that sometimes you need to invest in buy some resource material. Sometimes look where you can potentially get a resource material. Even books, maybe if you do not have money at the moment, maybe you can go to library cards, so get the library card and really get some growing resource and materials. Number 7 is continually leave your comfort zone. That is very important. There's no chance to improve yourself if you are having exactly the same comfort zone. And I don't know if you have tried to play a game where you have a map and everything looks black, but when you go through the map, when you have been in that map is opening up. Exactly as in a comfort zone. Sometimes everything around that comfort zone looks black and have no idea how it looks like. But when you stretch that comfort zone, then you know exactly how that looks like, and you're able to achieve more and more and more. And number 8 is capture what you learn. That means that you always need to write down maybe when you read a book, take notes and put in a notebook. And when you gather in your notebook all the lessons that you learn, you're able to review, get back to your lessons you learned. And after 90 days, after half a year, you go back to the lessons you learned in the past and review how you are now. Because a lot of times when you review your lessons, some lessons really, sometimes you need to reflect on those past lessons. Number 9 is reflect on what you are learning now, because it's very important that you're constantly reflecting on your experiences. Because a lot of times people say that experience is the biggest lesson of all, but no, reflected experience are the best teacher. Because when you really reflect on all the lessons you learn, you're able to implement the lessons that you learn. And the last one is 10 is pass on to others what you have learned. That's exactly what I do now. I learned a lesson from John C. Maxwell, and I'm teaching this lesson to you that I could remember those lessons better, because I love what John C. Maxwell shared, that when you want to remember the lesson, share that with others, and that will allow you 95% chance to remember what you shared. So now when I think about those 10 steps, I hope that next time when I film about if you're a lifelong learner and how to become lifelong learner, you will consider those 10 questions, and maybe will allow you to become a better learner. So I hope you will choose to win, and see you tomorrow.